The night shift at St. Mary's Hospital was usually quiet, with only the hum of fluorescent lights and the occasional squeak of wheels on the polished floor. Nurse Elena was updating patient charts when the emergency phone on her desk rang sharply, slicing through the silence. She picked up at once, her training keeping her voice steady. On the other end, a breathless paramedic reported, female, early 20s, found unconscious on 5th Avenue. Head trauma, no ID, en route now. Within minutes, the ambulance screeched to the hospital doors. Elena hurried to the stretcher and froze when she saw the young woman. Her silk gown was ripped, her heels broken, and her face pale under the harsh emergency lights. As the team rushed her inside, Elena searched for any identification. In the torn clutch bag, beneath scattered cosmetics, she spotted a delicate bracelet glinting under the light. One word was engraved in tiny cursive, Sophia Blackwell. Elena's heart skipped. This wasn't just any patient. This was the daughter of Alexander Blackwell, the billionaire everyone in the city knew. With trembling hands, she picked up the phone and dialed his private number. Alexander Blackwell was seated in his penthouse office, a glass of whiskey untouched on the desk, contracts spread before him. His phone rarely rang on the private line, only a handful of people had the number. When it buzzed, he answered with the usual clipped tone of a man who commanded empires. But the nurse's words shattered his composure. Your daughter is lying unconscious on the street. For a heartbeat, he couldn't move. The glass in his hand slipped, crashing onto the marble floor. His assistant rushed in, startled, but Alexander waved him away, already storming toward the elevator. His driver barely had time to start the car before he barked, "Hospital. Now. Break every red light if you must." As the city lights blurred past the window, Alexander's chest tightened with dread. He remembered Sophia's last message, a simple, unanswered, "Dad, will you come tonight?" He had ignored it for work. Now, every second felt like a punishment, each thought echoing the fear he might already be too late. The emergency room smelled of antiseptic and sharp fear. Alexander pushed through the swinging doors, his usually commanding stride faltering when he saw her. Sophia lay pale against the white sheets, wires and monitors surrounding her, each beep a cruel reminder that she was still fighting. The sight knocked the air from his chest. A doctor approached, professional but grave. "Head trauma. We're monitoring swelling, but she's stable for now. Likely from a fall, or possibly pushed. We'll know more after the scans." Alexander barely heard the details, his eyes never left his daughter. Nurse Elena guided him to the bedside. His hand trembled as he reached for hers, fingers cold and limp in his palm. "Sophia," he whispered, voice breaking, "it's Dad. I'm here. Stay with me, sweetheart." Images flooded him. Her giggles as a child, her stubborn teenage arguments, the way she once begged for just a bit of his time. For years he'd buried himself in boardrooms and contracts. Now, standing helplessly beside her, he realized the wealth meant nothing without her. The hours crawled like years. Alexander sat rigid beside Sophia's bed, gripping her hand as though sheer will could anchor her to him. The monitors beeped steadily, but every flicker on the screen made his heart jolt. Then, at last, her lashes fluttered. A soft groan escaped her lips, and her eyes opened just enough to find him. "Dad," she whispered, voice hoarse. Relief crashed over him so violently that his eyes burned. He bent closer, brushing her hair back. "I'm here, princess. You're safe." Slowly, she recalled fragments, the glittering gala, the stifling room, the cruel words of friends who used her father's name more than her own. She had walked out alone, dizzy and overwhelmed, and everything after was darkness. Alexander listened, guilt pressing on him heavier than any fortune he had built. That night, in the sterile glow of the hospital room, he made a vow. No empire, no deal, no billion-dollar contract would ever come before Sophia again. He hadn't just almost lost his daughter, he had almost lost his reason for living.